If it's about love, if it's about love.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Austin Haynes with the Waking Justice Project, and this is your daily wake-up call. Here's what the Corporatocracy is up to today, November 18th, 2019. This is our Monday Roundup edition in case you missed any news last week. You can visit our website at wakingjustice.org for more details. Here are the headlines. Every Friday, we spotlight one of our favorite indie journos who is working to expose the hard truths of the US Corporatocracy. These are the revolutionary journalists who make us ask, why aren't we all freaking out about this? We call it Freak Out Friday, and last Friday, we shined the spotlight on indie journo Abby Martin. Abby's a citizen journalist, probably best known for her online documentary series, The Empire Files. But her first major foray into video activism was a daily news show called Breaking the Set. If you aren't familiar with Breaking the Set, you should at least check out the final show from 2015, where Abby and her producer, indie journo Anya Parampil, looked back over the various stories and topics they covered on the show. Later that year, Abby launched The Empire Files, a weekly documentary program that's become a standard for global rights activists. The weekly format gives Abby more time to dig deeper into complex topics that we all need to know about, like regime change wars, the rigging of US elections, and other such fuckery by the US Corporatocracy. Abby has also produced a feature-length film, just released last May. It's called Gaza Fights for Freedom, and it's a stunning documentary about the plight of the Palestinian people under apartheid rule in Israel. You can watch the film online for just $6. It's well worth it. It'll break your heart, but we promise you'll also be deeply inspired by the incredible courage of the Palestinian people. Just watch it, you'll see. Last Thursday, we explored how good old Uncle Sam uses mass propaganda to mold our thoughts and thinking. But truth is power, so here's how it gets deeper. The patterns of thinking we develop over the course of our lives are sort of like deepening self-hypnosis. And unless we develop our own skills of self-inquiry, then the patterns of thinking imposed upon us can ultimately blind us and bind us. Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Chris Hedges recently wrote about this phenomenon. He was writing about how mass protests can also be empty political theater, how we can use them to make us feel good about ourselves, to make us feel like we're advancing the process of change. But are we just fooling ourselves? Indeed, the whole system is rigged against us by the upper class elites, and most of us don't even know it. We're the sucker class, as General Smedley Butler once put it. We spotlighted General Butler last week in our Whistleblower Wednesday series. By the time he had retired, General Butler was the most decorated Marine in US history. Reflecting upon his retirement, he wrote that war is a racket. He said, quote, "I was just a gangster for capitalism, a high-class muscle man for the corporate elites." He also said that throughout his career, he helped rape half a dozen countries in Central and South America, all for the benefit of Wall Street. Of course, the corporatocracy's wars for profit continue to this day. Last Tuesday, we reported on the latest coup in Bolivia, where the CIA helped overthrow the country's democratically elected president, Evo Morales. And most everyone knows that the Bolivian coup is about stealing the country's resources to profit the corporate elites. Those who can't see it and those who don't care are just stuck in old patterns of thinking. They're in a rut of self-destruction and can't see the liberation that comes along with the truth. So it is our job to wake them up, as Abby Martin might say. And as Chris Hedges and General Butler have showed us, we must do so with great humility, but also clarity. We no longer live in a representative democracy. The US has been transformed into a corporate plutocracy, and the only real power the working class has in a corporate plutocracy is mass economic activism. No doubt, mass organized boycott is the only political will that has ever effectively challenged such entrenched and moneyed power. It was the salt and textile boycotts that Gandhi organized to help win India's independence from Britain in the 1900s. It was the mass strikes and picket lines that helped US workers in the 1930s win a 40-hour work week, overtime pay, and collective bargaining for labor unions. It was bus boycotts and restaurant sit-ins in the 1960s that helped Black Americans win civil rights reforms. It was the salad boycotts and grape boycotts in the 1960s and 70s that helped win economic justice for migrant workers. And it was the divestment boycotts in the 1980s that finally forced an end to apartheid in South Africa. We're not saying don't vote and don't protest. As Chris Hedges says, protest can be the beginning of political consciousness, but protest can also be empty political theater. So we're saying we must combine our voting and protest with mass organized boycott, like the great revolutions before us have done. If you want to learn how all of us, in the work of global justice, can join together in strategic boycott and force this corporatocracy to the people's bargaining table, to end all of this injustice, warmongering, and corruption, and to help save our planet, please visit our website at wakingjustice.org. You can check out our About page and listen to our first podcast. And if you want to get involved, please fill out the contact form at the top right of the homepage. Or you can email us at info@wakingjustice.org. We'd love to hear from you, but we're running out of time, y'all. So join us. Peace.
You must be involved in the struggle for freedom and justice.
If it's about love, if it's about
Justice is waking, justice is rising. Justice is waking, justice is rising.
If it's about
Justice is waking, justice is rising. It ain't just us, it's all of us. Justice is waking, justice is rising. And it ain't just us, it's all of us.
if it's about
May every soul unite, tend the fire and let all coals relight. I'm a citizen of the world and we fight for the rights of everybody to live a truly free life. Red or yellow, black or white, left or right, gay or straight, human or animal or life. Cause what matters is what is in common. If you know it, stand tall and keep dropping the knowledge.
Justice is waking, justice is rising. And it ain't just us, it's all of us.
if it's about love.